Hey guys, Devin Gridley at AllFather Fitness, and today we're going to be talking about how to call someone out on being a fake natty and how to actually know if they're being a fake natty. And this is a huge topic in the fitness industry, especially with the evolution of Coach Greg. He really put his niche on the whole natty or not natty thing. And I'm basically making it for the same reason as him. I don't really care if you take steroids. I don't care if you take PDs. I don't care if you take whatever. You can take meth for all I care, and I would not care at all. That is your life choice, and you can do whatever you want to do. Completely transparent about that. And the only problem I have with it is when people lie about it. Like if they're taking PDs all year round and they stop and they go do a natural powerlifting event and they blow it out of the water, or any other sport for that matter. I find a problem with that, as well as people doing things like having a plan and then they're on every PD that's in existence and they say, if you buy this plan, you could look like this, even though they don't mention the fact that they're on gear and how much gear and whatever gear they could possibly be on. And that's a big factor into this. I want people to realize that there's a lot of misinformation out there about this, and I want people to make real decisions, especially if they're doing something like buying a plan. Don't buy it from someone who's just saying things like that and they're just misinforming you. So like I said, I don't care if you take steroids. If your information is good, your information is good, and then that's really what I care about. But if you give bad information and you're a fake natty and you kind of use that as a crutch to, like, I do all these exercises and I don't tell you about the gear I take yet, it did all this for me. I have a big problem with that. But that's only one part of the reason why I'm making this video. The other reason is, and it's a really big reason, is having realistic goals when you start going to the gym or you're already at the gym. You shouldn't think that you're going to gain, like if this is your first year and you're just watching this video and you want to go to the gym after this, right? You can't think that you're going to put on like above 15 pounds of muscle. Like it's completely up to genetics. You could do it. It's just going to be very difficult. Of pure actual contractile muscle or contractile tissue, which is muscle, you could put on 15 pounds pretty easy. It's not hard to put on 15 pounds if you just eat a lot of food. But 15 pounds of pure muscle, a lot more difficult. And it's completely up to your genetics. And unfortunately, you can't change those things. But I want people to be able to just see, hey, this person is probably on gear and they're not very honest about it, and they misinform people, and they do all this. But I don't think you should go to people's pages, hey, you're a fake natty, like, so what? Like, who cares? Who cares if they're taking gear? You shouldn't care. It's not like they're a cheater or anything. Like, they're just maximizing their potential to go where they want to go. If they want to be a pro, they want to be in the Olympia, they want to do whatever they want to do. That's their choice. I don't know why you knock them for it. And I wouldn't knock anybody, and I'm not going to. And I'm actually going to show an example of how to actually tell. That's the whole reason this video is being a thing, right? Is how to actually tell. Now, this person I'm going to show you, I've known about this person a very, very long time. He used to go to my high school way back in the day. But this guy wants to be an IFBB pro, so it's not a red flag really, but if you want to be a IFBB pro, you're probably going to have to take gear. If you do it natty, you're like, that'd be crazy. You have some of the best genetics in the world. But you can't, even with this guy, certain posts, you can say, oh yeah, he was 100% on gear, in some posts, it makes it very difficult, and I'll show you why. So in 2017, 120, 2018, 170. So keep in mind, this is 2018, and then we go to this one, 2018, right here, he's 135 again. So how did he jump within the span of 1 year, jump, 35 pounds? That doesn't make a lot of sense. So I feel like there's some typo going on around here, but regardless, 2018, he's 135, 2020, 185. That is 50 pounds of muscle within 2 years. That is a lot of muscle. And you have to realize it's not just weight. It is real muscle. Like, look at him. He's staying the exact same leanness, probably even leaner in my opinion. He's not really flexing his abs because he's more focused on obviously flexing his biceps, triceps, shoulders, his chest. But you can see right here the striations. He still has the striations right here. He's got the little fish gills right here, and but everything is just so much bigger. His arms are like triple the size. His forearms are literally like triple the size. His chest pops out. His shoulders are massive. He's literally doing like the exact same pose, and he looks like he ate like 3 of himself and just morphed all the muscle together. It's insane. And so if you look at this post, if anybody looks at this post and has like a general sense of, what's not possible, what's possible, they would say, yeah, this guy's on gear 100%. And the fact that he's on gear and training like that and making that amount of gains is like astronomical. Like if you talk to a person that takes PDs or takes steroids and you say, is it realistic to put on 50 pounds within 2 years? They would say, no, it's not. And somehow there it is. He obviously has very, very good genetics and even better genetics for staying lean. He stays this lean year round. I've I guess made fun of him before because I've seen on his story, he's like, oh, it's time to bulk up, and he has like his chicken, rice, and broccoli, whatever, the staple bodybuilding meal. He bulks up and he gets leaner, I swear, and it's crazy. But yeah, it's so hard to tell because he says this is 2018, this is 2018, and there's a 30-pound difference somehow, and it just makes it really hard. But if you just go this 2017, 2018, 50 pounds in a year, 50 pounds in 2 years, both of those are completely unnatural. You have to be on a crazy amount of gear. 50 pounds in 1 year, that is absolutely insane. And staying the same leanness, even leaner probably. He does look a little bit more full in this. You can tell this, he has his obliques pop out a little bit more, but it could be that he's just not focusing on flexing those obliques. He's focusing on, flexing literally everything else. So it's really hard to tell. And this 15, 17, that's 2 years, 55 pounds of muscle in 2 years. And this is what makes it confusing, is because these dates kind of overlap, and it's just, it makes it kind of hard to realize. But the general, consensus was he gained 50 pounds within the span of basically 2 years, possibly even 1. He had one post that said 1 year, but I would assume that it's the 2 years. And he stayed the exact same body fat percentage, if not getting leaner. And, that is just not possible even with tons and tons and tons of gear. That is not possible. So he obviously has fantastic genetics, both for staying lean and gaining muscle, but he's probably on gear as well. And I'm not at all knocking him, and he wants to be a pro. Like, I'm not gonna, that's his dream. He wants to be a pro. I'm not gonna knock him for that. That's just stupid. But and he doesn't do any of the bad things I'm talking about. He was just an example I could throw up because I didn't want to go to anybody else, because I didn't really know anybody else. Like, I couldn't just go to someone more simple. I had to have realistic pictures and dates and things like that, and this was just the first thing that came up. So yeah, if you ever see this at some point, not at all knocking you if you are on steroids. If you're not, I believe you are. It is what it is. That's kind of what you get for saying you gained 50 pounds in 1 year or even 2 years. So that's not really my fault, I'll be completely honest. But yeah, I just want people to have realistic goals. I want them to understand that they're not going to gain 50 pounds in 2 years. That is just unbelievable. That you can't do that, okay? You cannot do that. Don't think you can do that. Gaining 50 pounds within 10 years would be a pretty good accomplishment. Gaining 15 pounds within your first year means you have supreme genetics. You have 1 in probably 1,000 or 100,000 or something like that. That is really, really good. And as well as having the ability to stay that lean, amazing genetics. But another reason why you have to go and look back, you have to look back. That's the whole thing about this, is how do you tell if a person's a fake natty or they're on gear, whatever. You have to look back. That's the only way you can do it, unless they're Ronnie Coleman or Jay Cutler or whatever. Then you can say, oh, obviously they're on gear. You can't be natural and do that. But the reason you have to go back is because you can't just say, oh yeah, this guy's got acne and he's really lean all the time. Like this applies to him. He's had pictures where he has like some chest acne or face acne, whatever. He's 17 years old. Like, what are you gonna do? Like every 17-year-old has acne, especially if you have super high test levels, which he does. Even without the gear, he probably would. So yeah, you can't just say, oh, he has acne, he's on gear, or he's too vascular, he's on gear. Those are completely genetic things. Steroids doesn't make you more vascular. More muscle makes you more vascular, and the better genetics you have for having muscle, the more vascular you're going to get, as well as just having, insertions play a big part, and how much muscle you have in one spot. Like, it's just completely dependent, and he obviously just has great genetics, because even when he was small, he just had veins popping out everywhere. He just has genetics to do that. So you can't just say, yeah, he's super lean all the time, he's on steroids or PDs. Like, you can't say that, because some people just have good genetics to do that. I stay the exact same body fat like my entire life. I did a cut like a few months ago, and I feel perfectly fine. I could probably cut even more and more and more, and I'd be perfectly fine. Like, I could do it all day, every single day. Like, it's not difficult. Some people just have the genetics to be leaner than other individuals, and me and him happen to have that. He has way better genetics than me. He gets way leaner than I ever could, probably, but he maintains it better than I probably could. I wouldn't want to do that. That'd be too much for me. But yeah, I think I got my point across. Don't just go out and call people and say they're taking gear and they're not natural and they're cheaters and whatever. I feel like it's pointless and stupid. Call them out for having bad information, for being manipulating people. Like, call them out for doing things like that. That's what really matters. And especially in the fitness industry, I don't know why people would try to poison it so much. It's supposed to be a healthy thing. It's for everyone to enjoy. It's for everyone to be in a contest against themselves. It's to gain more muscle, build more strength for yourself, do whatever you want to do. It makes you happy on like every level that you could possibly be happy on. So I don't know why people try to poison it with things like being a fake natty. And I understand saying like you're in a country where steroids are illegal, which is like every country. So it just makes sense but you don't have to say like, here's my book or whatever, buy it and you could look like this. Like, you don't have to say that. You could just ignore it, which a lot of people do. He does that a lot. He used to, a long time ago, which when he probably was natty, he used to say, yeah, not natty, but it's not in his bio anymore, and now he wants to be an IFBB pro. So it's kind of just a given that he probably is on gear. And if he's not, I don't know what to say. You need to get your dates right, because 50 pounds in 1 year or 2 years that's a lot. That's a lot. But yeah, that's all I really got for this video. If you found this interesting, seeing if a person was natural or not natural, and you kind of want me to do the same thing as basically what Greg does. He does a lot of research and a lot of things in people's personal lives. That's a lot of work. But if you guys find it entertaining or enjoyable, or you want to figure out if someone's natty or not, and it's like smaller individuals like this guy instead of Simeon Panda, Larry Wheels, Dwayne Johnson, Zac Efron, just big people, like videos that Coach Greg would do on them. If you want to have people that are just smaller, like no-name people for now, please put them down in the comments. I'd be happy to do it. But or you can just do it yourself now, since I just taught you how to do it. But I gotta go hit legs, so subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Hit the bell notification so you get notifications on my videos, so you can watch them as fast as possible and gain as much information as fast as possible, which is very important. Like the video if you did in fact like the video. Helps the YouTube algorithm, which gets me more views, and more views gets me more subscribers, and that's what makes me want to continue making these videos to inform people on how to train properly, diet properly, and do anything fitness related properly, which is very, very important. So I will see you in the next one.